we decided to make pizzas today, which is one of my favorite things to do, most favorite things actually. I love pizza. And we are going to test out the Onlyfire pizza insert on our Kamado Joe, Kettle Joe. Not sponsored in any way, so you will get an honest review later. But first we talk dough. We are going here with a 2-day process. We could also go with a 3-day process, but the 2-day process involves that you make a poolish the day before. And that looks pretty like this and full of bubbles. That is 300 grams of Caputo type 00, 300 grams or milliliter of water, and 2 pinches of yeast, maybe 30 granules of instant yeast. And then you basically just leave it overnight. And then you have a beautiful yeasty base for your dough that gives super crust and flavor to your dough. We have here, as I said, 300 grams of flour. Now I'm gonna add 900 grams of the same flour, so we have a total flour weight of 1200 grams. That way we will yield 10 good size pizzas. And I'm going for a 70% hydration, so I have 300 milliliter here, so I have 550 here. So in goes the water, and in goes our poolish, which I cannot really do it so you can see, so imagine. All of the poolish goes in. If I was doing this over a 3-day process, then once we are finished with the dough here, then I would bulk ferment it until tomorrow and then make pizzas. But we are shortcutting a little bit today. This we are going to mix just a little bit first so it breaks up the poolish a little bit so it mixes easier with the flour. Half a minute maybe. That's about it. Then we add our 900 grams of flour into the mix, and then we're gonna add 30 grams of salt, equivalent to 2.5% of the flour weight. If you wanted more salty, you can go for 3%, but I think 2.5% is the right way to go. If I was bulk fermenting again, I wouldn't add any more. I would just make the dough and let the poolish do the leavening of my dough overnight. But since we're doing it today, I'm adding an extra 10 grams of instant dry yeast. And now we're gonna let this knead for probably 15, maximum 20 minutes, and then we will have a good strong dough. I'll show you. Only 12 minutes in, and we have a super strong dough here. Now we do a little bit of oil, very little, tiny bit, just to grease your fingers a little bit on top of the board here. And then we're gonna get out. My God, this is strong. It is, after all, my gluten master. Now we just form this into a nice taut round ball. Take it a little bit for a walk here, as we always do, just to tighten up. You don't have to be super anal about how it looks. You just want to tighten it up so you get like a nice non-sticky surface. You see, nothing sticks even with 70% hydration. That's what you get out of this. So, a tiny bit more oil, just over the top. It's like a baby. And now we're going to cover this and wait 15, 20 minutes. We're not waiting for anything to rise here. Now we want the gluten network to relax so that we can form the dough ball. So see you in a bit. Quarter of an hour. Let's see how it's going. And nice and relaxed. Look how it fell down. It's because of the heat, because if there's one thing gluten don't like, it's high temperatures. So then it relaxes faster. If it was a more chilly environment, it would maybe take 20, 25 minutes. But now we are lucky.
in Greece.
Yeah, we're in Greece and the temperatures are high. So 2-point-something kilo of dough. So I'm thinking we want to make, shall we say, 10 pizzas? Because I don't know about the size of the oven here, because if I was in my pellet grill, which I've done pizzas before, link down below, I would make 8 because they had a big space. But let's go with 10. I mean, I could use my kitchen scales and weigh them out, but I'm not going to do that. I don't care. This is home baking. They can have a little bit different size. So here we have them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks about right.
Perfect.
Gonna be some nice sized pizzas here.
It's gonna be some good eating.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And there will be a little smaller one here. That's nice. I can give that to my nephew.
For your nephew, yeah.
Exactly. So all there's back to do now is to make them into a nice ball, fold them around, keep the top side up. Don't let them fall over and you get the top side down. You want to keep the top.
Why you do that? To
I want-
strengthen it more? Or?
Yeah, so I get a nice round shape, and then I'm putting them here in my proofing box with a bit of semolina, fine semolina flour. This is just to tighten up the balls, so I get a nice round shape, so it's easy when we have to prepare the pizzas later. There you go. In it goes. Beautiful. I'm gonna continue with all 10. And here we have the last culprit. So we have all our balls ready here, so we can be soon making pizzas. It's gonna be nice. So into the box, give them a little bit of space here, and then we have five. Cover them up. Now we're gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna let them double in size while we fire up our barbecue and talk a little bit about the setup. Here we have our almost new Kamado Joe Kettle Joe that we are taking through the ropes in these days to test it out in various things. I bought a pizza insert from Onlyfire, which fits all 57 centimeter kettle grills. And I have to say, I'm really amazed with the quality of this. I mean, see here, stainless steel door in thick quality, slides perfectly. So I'm looking forward to taking this through the ropes. It also comes with a rotisserie kit, so pretty excited to try that out. So, first things, since this is not a Weber kettle where the lid is loose, I have to lift up the lid a little bit. So out with the pin, lift it, tighten it, and then we see how well it fits.
Much made in heaven.
Fits like a charm, I have to say. Really nice. Super good fit. And it comes with a nice pizza stone, obviously. So that goes in the middle. And then it's a question of lowering the lid.
To close properly, right?
So you get a little bit higher. You have to fiddle a little bit with this. Then you close it and let it fall down so it's tight, and then you tighten the screw on the back. As I said, if it was a Weber kettle, you don't have that issue because the lid is loose like this. But there you have a nice pizza oven setup.
Now your Kettle Joe is like smiling.
It's a smiley Joe.
Yeah.
Now we are going to load it up with some charcoal and get it fired up so we can start it heating up so we can make pizza in an hour. So let's see how our dough balls, they are coming along. Pizza stone is up and running at 320, 330 degrees, which I think is nice for this. But here you see, beautiful and nice. Give them a poke. And if they bounce back, but still leaves an indentation, like maybe you can see it here.
Ah, yeah.
But they bounce back slowly. If they bounce back like boop, like rigorously, then it's not ready. Then you will not be able to shape your pizza. So this is nice. So let me get one of these out of here. First, I want a little bit of semolina on the board here, so nothing sticks. That's important. And over the top. It's a little bit windy here today, but... And there we are. A little bit over the top. And then we go about this like we always do. Start from the middle, pressing outwards so we keep some air in the crust. So we get that Neapolitan signature look.
So good.
Nah. And I found out that the easiest unprofessional way to do this is simply to let gravity do the job. But I found out that my regular pizza peel is too big for this. Like, it can't fit through the hole in the oven, so I have to use the small one. So we're not going to be able to make 12-inch or 30 centimeter pizzas here. We're going to make them a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I can live with that. But super strong dough. Look how thin it is. It's almost see-through. It's very, very good. Fantastic. That's the gluten master's work. That looks like pretty, and then we can stretch it into shape here. It will be like a lunch pizza size, because we don't have
individual pizza.
Yeah, we have to do that because of the size of the
And we have 5 each to eat.
Yeah. But this is still going to be good. Then we have a very basic marinara sauce here: crushed tomatoes, basil, salt, pepper, nothing fancy. I find that's the best. Don't overdo it. You just want a nice layer of tomato, so it looks pretty afterwards and tastes good, but you don't want it saggy. So then another classic move, 50% Parmesan Pecorino mixture to go a little bit over here to give some saltiness and a little bit of bite to it. This is always my starter pizza, the classic margherita. Cubed fresh mozzarella. Don't do it in slices because then they give out too much water in one spot and then the bottom becomes saggy. So I learned that from Vito Jacopelli. He's a pizza master. Beautiful in all its simplicity. So let's get that in the oven and test it out. It's maybe not so easy, but
Oh, it's okay.
and then we close up again and give it a couple of minutes. Maybe we will turn it a little bit. But as I said, my peels, they're too wide. So I have to be a little bit creative here. So I'm going to have to use this to get out the pizza because the big ones, they don't fit. That's not Onlyfire's fault. That's my tools. They're just too big. So a couple of minutes. Let's see how this looks. If I can get it out of here with my makeshift tool. Not so easy. Needed a better pizza peel, but there it is. I'm not entirely satisfied though. The bottom is finished, but the crust is a little bit on the soft side. I wanted that to have browned up faster. I would say so far the pellet grill pizza oven is better, but we'll try and make a second one and see if we can do better. Second version became a little bit better. I'm not totally satisfied with the crust still. I mean, when we use the pizza oven in the Green Mountain Grill, we get perfect, like a wood-fired oven simulation, but the bottom is nice and crusty, so that part is good. So now it's time to dress them up. So I'm just going to give them a couple of basil leaves here, as always. And then I'm going to give it a drizzle of olive oil. There we go. And that's the pizzas you can make with the Onlyfire pizza insert in the Kettle Joe. Let's give this a tester because looks ain't everything, so it might be good. Let me cut out a slice here to see what we're dealing with. Well, as I said, I'm not happy with the crust. That doesn't look like when I make it on my other pizza oven, but let's give it a taste anyway. Okay, the taste is fantastic. I mean, super. The dough with the poolish, you get so much flavor in the dough. Absolutely. Still amazing pizza. Only the crust I'm not happy with. So Onlyfire, you have to change your game here. Cheers.